Thank you, chat, for joining us on a special Friday stream on an emergency episode of Folkwise,
Yeah.
a fan requested episode of Folkwise.
Fan requested. Yeah, multiple people. We were already kind of thinking about how we could do something like this, and then multiple people were like, "When are you doing something like this?" And we're like, "Okay, so it's meant to be. We have to we have to figure out some way on a very like timely bonus type stream address the beef of the century."
Here's our backstory. Here's our backstory with this. Oh, hello, chat. Hello, Ladders in
Hey,
chat.
chat. Yes.
Ladders in chat for Kendrick Lamar, everyone. Here's our backstory. We had a sleuthing meeting on Sunday
true.
to write questions for Sally Vanderwater's episode on Sunday morning, and all we wanted to do was just listen to Not Like Us, and I think that's when Daisy first heard the song.
That was when I first heard Not Like Us. Yeah, on Sunday morning.
So
I was like, okay,
the beef completely just destroyed the weekend for the sleuths, and I assume many of you out there as well. And so we are putting together a special Kendrick versus Drake beef of the century retrospective analysis, play by play. What's another good word? What's an academic word? Bricolage? I don't think this is a bricolage, but
I don't know if that's what this is, but
no, we have a special episode talking about last week, but really last month.
Yeah, last month.
But last week is when it really became one for hip hop, music, pop culture history.
And in addition to that, I also hope that today we will get another track. I know that people are thinking like maybe Friday night another track might drop, but
oh my God. Are people thinking that?
Yeah. I mean, I've read people be like, okay, Friday we're gonna get a track because of how
I've also heard people say Fire Emblem 4 is going to be the last game released on the Switch when the Switch 2 gets announced next month. You know what I mean? People on the internet wish for a lot of things.
That's maybe true. Well, I guess the other thing is people have been I have kind of like a question or comment we can like paint a larger picture with about how this is, I think, also connected to Free Palestine. Anyway, I'm not getting conspiratorial, but I hope that we have a conversation about. Anyway,
the real beef right now is Macklemore versus the U.S. government.
Oh my God. Yeah, and I do think that they're happening at the same time for important reasons when we can get into later. But obviously, Dom and I have been talking about this with the greater folklore community, and because we have such a wonderful, like, I don't know, list of contacts to go to for specific subjects that we may talk about, we thought it would be great to ask Langston, past guest Langston Wilkins, and tier list winner of the year from the Wisey Awards show, to come on to Folkwise and help us talk about this, in part because of our connection, but also because I just have been loving all of your Facebook post updates about the drama too. Like, it was like a kind of like, I wonder if Langston would want to like talk about this in a more formal way. So welcome to the show and the screen now.
Yes,
Dr. Wilkins.
Welcome back, Dr. Langston Wilkins. Like Daisy said, tier list champion of the year, defending champion, and the academic folklore's official daily updater on all things beef. Langston, how are you doing in this evening?
Good.
Yeah,
good.
And how have you been doing this week?
Yeah.
Oh, this week has been a lot, but good. Happy to see Friday.
Are grades all turned in? Are you done? No? Still going? Okay. Wow.
A few more days, but we're getting there.
A few more days.
Okay.
Excellent. So as Daisy mentioned, you've been posting, you've been keeping people updated, and I've always your posts have been at the top of my feed, and I think plenty of people who are like friends with you who are like in the academic like folklore space, but also if people haven't watched your episode, I feel like we should say you should say a little bit about who you are and what you do relating to music and to hip hop.
Oh, sure. I'm an assistant professor of folklore and African American studies at the University of Wisconsin. I got my PhD in ethnomusicology from Indiana University, and my focus was hip hop music. I just published a book back in August on hip hop culture in Houston, Texas, and hip hop's been my thing since was 12 years old, and I just turned 40, so it's been a long time. So yeah, that's me.
Excellent, and thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on the show to talk to us and kind of like you said, we're here hanging out. We're talking about earth-shattering events that happened in the rearview mirror. But thank you for coming on and talking to us. And thank you, Daisy. Daisy just linked your book in the chat.
Yes,
there you go. So everybody in chat, you can click that link and follow it to Langston's book. But like we're saying, we are here to talk about this incredible sight we just witnessed. What I feel like is the first.
I think a very public evisceration and perhaps a guillotinifying. I don't know, something about absolutely obliterating the other individual very publicly, and anyway, something like that.
and I guess my like only take I have, it's the first. It's like the first like beef made for the algorithm, to the point where for the first time since Elon Musk bought Twitter, the internet feels like one joint place again. It doesn't feel like everyone is on different apps. It feels it's back to feeling like we can talk about the capital I internet having an opinion on something, which is the first. I haven't felt like this in like a year.
Yeah.
Joel Chapping in chat says every time a track dropped, I went to Langston's Facebook for commentary.
Hell yeah!
I couldn't keep up; it was too much.
So, it happens fast. Yeah, it's like,
This is an accelerated timeline.
We also have to, maybe that's the way we should approach it.
Exactly.
Maybe it's time to pull up the timeline, because I think they're like, in addition to not feeling like you can't keep up with it, like no one was able to keep up with it, but part of that was in conversation and knowing that everybody would be live reacting to it, especially on Twitch and stuff too. So maybe we can get into that.
That's very true. Do you want to before we pull up, before we kind of walk through step by step of Kendrick versus Drake, do you have like general thoughts? Do you want to say first before we talk about like each song?
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, this was certainly a monumental beef, and I can't say I've studied hip hop beefs for a long time, but I've been fully immersed in them. Since I was a kid. I listen to diss records regularly every week. It's part of my listening culture, and this was something different. I'm reaching that age where the younger folks' music is just not something I fully understand, and I'm reaching that point where I'm always in critique mode. But this was awesome. This was fun. This was really got me really invigorated and excited about hip hop again. Also, it brought up some really serious topics and issues that need to be unpacked and discussed. So there's a lot here, and I'm in terms of obliteration and who won or what, I'm somewhere not perfectly in the middle, but I don't know if Drake got totally like mollywopped in that way. I think he was able to show people that regardless of all his antics and his trend hopping and his wave riding and all his different all that, he's a skilled artist in his own right. So I'll leave it there. We can get on with
Great.
Yeah, I mean, you're making me think of the folklore brain is less of like, it's less interesting to talk about who won or didn't win, or if this is or isn't real, than it is to talk about like the larger moment that it's speaking to and how everybody's like engaging with the conversation.
Yeah, kind of like an urban legend.
I see it. Folklore answer.
One second. All right, here we are. So, Langston, you can see our. If you hit
if you click watch stream,
chat can see it as well. Chat can see it as well. Daisy is in front of the fake, fake background to Kendrick Lamar's single "Folklore."
Yeah, we all heard that one, right?
But here we are. I wondered how far I had to go back for this. I wondered if it was worth going back to like Control or something. But the long story short is these two have not gotten along since like 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kendrick Lamar, like a Pulitzer Prize winner Kendrick Lamar versus most number one hits since Elvis Drake. Kind of very much in like two kind of separate lanes, two separate spheres. Finally on a collision course, what seems like the better part of a decade. Finally putting it in tracks. So let's get to it. The first thing I have, Langston, is first person shooter. We have to go back to Halloween of last year and first person shooter.
Yeah, that was a great record where you saw two titans of hip hop, Drake and J. Cole, kind of link up and form sort of a team, standing in opposition to other elite MCs. That was a cool moment, and in terms of records, right, set this whole thing off. So yeah, that was a moment.
Now we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but on like on Not Like Us, Kendrick talks about like the feature request he declined. Do we think he declined to be on this song?
I mean, he said, forget a big three, it's just big me. I mean, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have made the song even better than it was. I love this song. I think it's a great record, but Kendrick on that would have been great. Although, Drake and J. Cole have chemistry together.
Yes.
And I thought it was great as it was. So
that's very true.
Maybe that worked out if he said no to that,
That's very true.
especially since they've had a long-standing like beef leading up to that. So.
Or they've had a long-standing. They've had a long-standing like side what do the kids say? Bombastic side eye. They've had long-standing bombastic. They've had 10 years of bombastic side eye to each other.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
a little bit true.
Just out of the corner of their eyes, being like, okay.
Yeah.
So all of this really takes off at the end of March for Like That from Metro Boomin and Future's collaboration album, We Don't Trust You.
Yeah, man, where did time go?
I know that was.
Yeah, what's not?
I put this together and I'm like March 26th. I remember listening to that song.
Like the end. Yeah, it's like the end of March. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and I love this song. I'm unlike a lot of people my age and whatever. I'm a big Future fan, and I thought Kendrick, that verse was not quite what Control was, but certainly like really set this hip hop thing on fire, and really brought, it's good to see and hear battle Kendrick. I feel like we get smart Kendrick all the time, and that's cool, but I really love it when MCs of his ilk and his nature really get into that kind of antagonistic really aggressive kind of mode, and I think he did that there, and I think Cole and Drake especially, they couldn't not respond to that. So that was an incredible record overall, and I'm glad Kendrick decided to take it there because I love all this.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
I'm a part-time Spider-Verse cosplayer, so I'm a big Metro Boomin fan because I cosplay Miguel O'Hara. So you're in the Future camp. I'm in the Metro camp. Very, very excited that he is a Spider-Man in one dimension. That he has a cameo as a Spider-Man of his own dimension.
Official fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah. With his Spider-Man with the white bandana. That's awesome. But we'll return back to Metro shortly. Daisy, as you were tangential to all this. Like,
I'm like, this is the part I need help with.
Do you remember when this? Do you remember when this happened? When Kendrick said, "Fuck the big three, it's just big me."
Yes, okay. I totally get that. Yes.
On like an uncredited, like his name isn't in like his name wasn't in the credits of the track. It was just everyone just like started posting like that on Metro and Future's album. I'm like, okay, and I listened to it at like I was like in bed. It was like 11:30. I think I was reading, and I just like rolled over and went, Kendrick. It was like, what are you doing in my house?
Yeah, like, oh, hello. Yeah, where did you come from? Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was a surprise attack, and I think that made it all the more cool.
Yeah.
And that's how, prior to this current era we in, that's how those disses used to happen, right? Just kind of out of nowhere. And, that we didn't have the 24-hour news cycles and everything. So, a lot of us, when these things would happen, we had no clue there was beef at all until these records dropped.
Sure.
And
right. Yeah.
Not the same, but, kind of in terms of really igniting an actual moment. That's what this record was for sure.
Got it.
I also think like to the people, I mean, maybe who are like more on the fringes also, like this has become huge for people who aren't even that, invested in the hip hop community broadly. Like, I think that's probably how people on the outside felt like, oh, now I'm getting called into this where I didn't even know there was beef, before. But that's so there's like in terms of the rippling, like outward effect. So yeah, powerful stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
All right, ready to move to the next one?
What next? Yes.
Next.
The next iteration.
Next is on April 5th. J. Cole comes out with Might Delete Later and 7-Minute Drill. Langston, what can we say? What can we say about the brief, the brief campaign of J. Cole in this beef?
Not much. I mean, I didn't really think this was a great performance. I don't think he probably realized this is he's not built for this particular part of hip hop culture, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And he tried to get in it and he got out of it quick. And I think clearly, considering where it all went, that was very smart. So Might Delete Later. I'm glad he deleted himself.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say
later. Oh, actually, for real, delete. Thank you.
He's recently been found on a beach having a great day.
I saw this meme like right before. Yeah, he's just chilling.
I'm glad that as someone I think I saw in like the YouTube comments, Kendrick pulled him aside and said, "You're actually cool. Don't go to school tomorrow."
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh man. Oh jeez.
YouTube comments though.
YouTube comments have been crazy. That's kind of been my barometer. It's been I immediately go to the comment section. Yeah.
Oh my god, there are two kinds of people: those who immediately go to comment section and those who do not read them.
Yeah. So what? 5 days later at the Dreamland Festival, he says this is the corniest shit I ever did in my life, and he officially backs out. Yeah, and like, as internet folklore would have you believe, because he realized it was going to get personal, and he did not have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's right in that, and sure, Big Three, there's that idea out there, but as talented and as honest of an artist J. Cole is, I just don't think he's not on that level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Kendrick over here with the go ahead.
No, I keep going. I'm just
I'm just saying you have Kendrick over here with the smart raps, and you have Drake over here representing all the whatever Drake represents, and he owns that part.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know where J. Cole fits there, and so this needed to be between those two.
Yeah, they have the global pull. Like Jake, like people, I don't know, people in Korea don't know. Maybe they do know who J. Cole is, but like everybody, I feel like knows Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I feel like that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I'm not trying to be insensitive about what communities do and don't know, but I am trying to draw a connection to the global power of like both of those names together in a beef is very similar. The third just wouldn't make sense.
Daisy, now we've got to get J. Cole on a song with like G-Dragon and T.O.P. if you think he's not big in Korea.
Yeah, right.
Okay, yeah, well, fair. Anyway, he doesn't have the same kind of like length of like global influence, I guess, the historical global influence.
Fair. Yeah.
If we move on, this is where things actually heat up because
Yeah.
next is push-ups.
Yeah.
A reference to whatever Kendrick's been doing on Instagram, doing like burpees
Yeah.
in his jeans.
Gene
Oh, is that
burpees.
what that's a reference to?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, he was
Yeah,
he was
he's
his like burpees jeans,
He's like
his gene burpees workouts that he's been posting on his story.
Yeah.
But I mean, also like drop and give me 50. I mean that speaks for itself in like the text of the song being about like splits with your record company. But I think also about his like I don't know, his either goofy or terrifying street clothes calisthenics in the sun that he's been posting.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Yeah, no, this was this was a good record, if this is where the beef stopped, this would have been an entertaining, battle. It was a good performance from Drake. I feel like he touched on some things that some insider information and revealed some of that friction over in the TDE camp and all that to the public. And it was good. It was good. Obviously it wasn't what was to quickly to come, but it was a good initial kind of we're in the thick of things kind of like mark or shot there. So that was cool.
It was a real shot. It was a real shot across the bow. Like it made us think like, oh, this is a beef. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
And I think stand out from this for me was like the 20v1 line because he did kind of have to reply to everyone who has unfollowed him on social media in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I forgot, it had expanded for a moment and then kind of
it did. ASAP, Pharrell,
ASAP, Ross,
we'll get to him.
Right. Yes, right. Forgot about that. Yeah. And it really shows, again, how big and how Drake has his own kind of orbit.
Yes.
Right? And I think he kind of showed that on this track.
Daisy, you heard this song or not? Or you had later?
I heard this song when we were off the call.
And
I looked up the songs for to keep my beef like
once the season was done, you binged the whole show. Yeah. And
Darath in the chat is
read that
about J. Cole. Darath says J. Cole spent his entire career essentially befriending everyone in rap and has frequently talked about how he isn't going to beef with anyone over anything unimportant. So going to war with Kendrick over this is just against his whole vibe. A great point. Yeah, he didn't really want in on it and never has in really any capacity, like whether it was rap or just in general fighting with people. So that's true. Yeah.
Also, I feel like they've been teasing a Kendrick and Cole album for like half of my adult life, and I when he dropped out, I'm like, we might still get the Kendrick and Cole album.
That's fair. Cool.
Last time I can remember the two of them on a song together, like Kendrick sang the hook. It's not like they ever have like traded verses. Yeah. So we're still waiting. You've done it. You've done it, Jermaine.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, and I have April 13th/19th because it leaked like 6 days before it actually went live on Drake's social media. But that was part of what like led to it being so exciting that like you had all these just like non-verified channels posting what seemed like a very legitimate Drake song. Yeah.
It's like back in the day when these songs would come out on random mixtapes and other like informal formats. I mean, that was kind of a throwback in that way. I'm like 5 years younger than you, so I feel weird saying this, but back in my day, it was in college. It was datpiff.com. Oh yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace, Dat Piff.
Rest in peace, Dat Piff. That's how I got into. Oh my god, so many artists I just like randomly saw on the front page of Dat Piff and went like, "Who is Action Bronson? Should I listen to that?"
Sure.
Yeah. Push up. Read that other comment, Daisy.
Yeah, Dareth coming in again. Push-ups reminded me a lot of Drake's first track in the Meek Mill beef, which was charged up,
Forgot all about Charged Up.
completely fine, but clearly set up for what was to come next, and maybe deliberately not Drake's best so that he could easily top it.
He did. Oh my goodness.
Some strategy,
Yeah.
some strategy there. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we have April 13th/19th, and I had to mention that because in between the leak and the official release,
Yeah.
Champagne Moments happened by Rick Ross.
Right.
And this was, I didn't think we were going to have to remember this song until last weekend. I guess the main important thing is he puts hashtag BBL Drizzy in the corner.
Yeah, which is fucking wild.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which, like, to have a song so scandalous, you have to call your mom and say, this isn't true, I swear.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was, again, I think the song itself, and the, considering the entire beef, semi-forgettable.
Mhm.
But the BBL part, the abs and all that, yeah, that was something. If that's Rick Ross's only contribution to this thing, that's a major gift.
Yes.
So, that's hilarious.
That's about all we really have to say.
Yeah.
We have to go out of our way to say Rick Ross preempted something big.
Hell yeah.
The classic like fraternity picture or
Yeah,
whatever
totally.
this meme is. This has been like on. I've seen this online for like a decade. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next thing we have though, this is where it starts. This is where things start getting a little I don't know, a little controversial. Langston, what can you say? Yeah.
Yeah, a little I don't know. The friction increases. It's an escalation. That's the word I'm looking for.
What can you say about TaylorMade?
Yeah.
Was this the song where he used AI to rap in the voice of Tupac? Yeah,
yes.
This was terrible. I didn't like this at all. I mean, the things he said, sure, I mean, it was certainly relevant and respectful of the beef that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But come on, like, employing Tupac's voice, like, and I'm not saying this, I'm gonna put aside my Tupac obsession and standum and all that aside. That's just weird. That's a weird thing to do when you're beefing with another living human being.
Yeah.
And, like, you're not Tupac. Like, nothing that came from you in this entire beef reflected that energy, and none of your no parts of your career reflects anything Tupac did. So, and then there's Snoop, which was also weird.
It's confusing because he's definitely alive and like streaming Valorant or whatever on Twitch sometimes.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, he just, like, whatever he does. Yeah.
But, certainly an escalation, but just was very, very strange.
I think it's so crazy with like the last song on To Pimp a Butterfly having like the Kendrick interviewing Tupac, like using like archival audio of Tupac and like an obscure interview in the Netherlands or whatever to make it sound like he's having a conversation with Tupac. That's like one of like my favorite like moments in like Kendrick's discography. And then there's like Drake kind of does like, okay, now do that, but like entirely the wrong way.
Yeah, do it, but like, could he be holographic next to me in the room? What? Like, it's that level of like weird. Like, it didn't have to go so strange.
Yeah, it's
I do
odd.
think. Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just thinking about like AI, like the politicization.
It'll come back later.
AI right now too. Yeah, it comes back later.
Yeah.
I think it also might tie into my argument about how this maybe relates to Free Palestine. But anyway, this isn't like that big brain of a thing. I just am seeing patterns. Okay, I'm just taking in information and noticing and wondering. But I think AI is a relevant element to this beef in general, based on how the sort of results have shaken out about who's actually fighting with who and about what, because I think that changes over the course of this also.
Yep. So this was a weird one.
This was a weird one.
A memorable moment, from this beef for sure.
Memorable and not the way you want.
Not the way you want. Yeah.
All right. And then after about a week or so of people wondering what was going to happen next, then Euphoria comes out.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No. And this was the day, right?
This was huge.
This was I'd never ever seen something like what was started, with Euphoria, where MC just really. I don't even know how to describe, the series of Kendrick songs that came out, but I don't know how he wrote all of those songs so quickly and made them all sound so different, but firmly in line with his goals and his methods, in this beef. This was the start of some top-notch emceeing, and there's a lot of people who don't like hip hop beefs and all that, and I get that. They're not like they're complicated, but what we did see from this thing was an elite MC showing what makes him so amazing and one of the top 10 to 20 artists of his genre. Period. And I think this only like rose his. I know we're doing a tier list or something, but it's only rose like his stature. I think Euphoria was amazing. I thought this was gonna be the peak, but
same.
It wasn't.
I thought 3 beat switches and 7 voices was going to be the peak. And I guess what people are now calling like the hater bars, which I see on TikTok all the time. That's been like such a meme. Yeah.
The memes, yeah.
Like notably right now, this is for Daisy. This is for Daisy, I guess, because they're in that space. But as you may know, tomorrow is Eurovision.
Yes.
And Israel is allowed to compete, and most of the other countries are protesting it.
Yep.
And case in point, the delegation from the Netherlands covers their faces with the Netherlands flag at press conferences whenever Israel speaks. And I've seen so many footage of like the Netherlands delegation like putting flags over their faces, going, "I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, I hate the stuff, hate the way that you dress." Yeah. But it's plenty of videos of people's cats looking mad to that, which is a very like, base emotion.
Angry cats,
But this was longer than I thought any of these songs could be, and just like complicated. Like we were saying, like he gets through so much. There's like, the movements. It's a little symphony. You know what I mean?
The other thing that I don't know if it wasn't apparent to like people before. It wasn't necessarily to me, but like the depth of the beef and thought that have been brewing inside Kendrick, I think is like this. It's clearly like. To have a creative moment like that, you like catch the moment as it happens, but all of the work to like know what you were going to produce, all of that's been sitting and stewing and brewing inside of Kendrick for so long, and like it's great that he was able to channel that energy into like a really important piece of music that is going to be historically remembered, like in the ways we can only imagine. But I don't know. I feel like it's bigger than just a battle, like this is like about society. Like it went from like, this is a personal beef to like, this is about the state of the world that I'm using this beef to channel a conversation about, which is pretty intense. So I feel like it gets to this point that it's like, okay, you assume that that's the peak of the beef, but then it's like you're like, wow, it really went to the next level.
Can I summarize that with a movie quote, Daisy?
Yeah, do it. Say
this is the business we've chosen. I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of, Michael, but it was all business. So I want you to tell me right now, is this business or personal? And Kendrick Michael Corleone goes, it's personal.
It's personal. Yeah.
That's spot on.
Yeah, that's so true.
I'm Italian. I have to insert it. I have to insert Godfather 2 somewhere.
Somewhere every time. Yeah, absolutely.
So I remember this is the first text I got.
Like, somebody was like, "So what's up?"
As all of these come out, like within the hour, I think I and like probably you too, Langston, are just gonna get like texts from a couple of people.
Oh,
Yeah.
whenever,
Yep.
just like Kendrick dropped, go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what's up with this? Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to
Yeah.
Zach, my GA.
Yeah.
We were keeping each other abreast of releases every time. But this is the first time I just got a text from Zach that just said like, Dom, Kendrick responded, and I was like,
Yeah.
what? It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Not even according to that timeline.
No,
Less
yeah,
than that.
less
Yeah,
than that.
It's wild. Yeah.
All
right.
So that's April 30th.
Yes.
We go to May 3rd, where Kendrick goes back to back with 616 in LA, kind of like the I don't know, like the awkward sequel. I feel like not many people talk about it because it's about to get like superseded by a lot of the stuff on here. But we should say, I think this is where, like, if you're a Taylor Swift fan, the fact that Drake evoked Taylor Swift on Taylor Made Freestyle, said you're gonna have to wait till Taylor Swift's album cycle is done, and then Kendrick comes back with a song made by her producer. I thought was like, petty and amazing.
This is I also think like that's like a really good example of, at this point, the demonstration of like strategy that Kendrick is using to annihilate like his opponent, basically. Like this is the time that it is dropping, the pace at which these are dropping, and like all of the kind of complex like relationships and knowledge that needed to be invoked to make it that damaging. Like this is like next level beef for real.
Yeah, this is beyond lines, right?
Yeah.
This is certainly approach and strategy and agenda, and chess versus checkers, as people like to say. I forgot about this one. I remember listening to it and thinking, oh, this is dope, and this is another winner from Kendrick. But considering what happened afterwards, I totally like forgot about it.
Because this is the big thing everyone remembers from this is him saying, I have moles inside OVO who have told me things that you don't want to get out, which I guess really like after the story of Adidon, after Pusha T and Drake, there's this expectation that like beef is going to be TMZ. And this is where he like if the last one was like personal, this is where he goes like, oh no, I understand that social media wants beef to have a scoop, and there are scoops, as people in chat are saying. Don't respond. I have real receipts. I
have actual receipts. Like think about whether or not you want to continue this.
because I seemingly know that you're going to drop today. Because this comes out in during the day. This comes out like in the morning. But let's move to the night of May 3rd, when Family Matters comes out.
I was gonna say this is a whole
Langston, what do you have to say about Family Matters?
This was the Drake record.
This is Drake. This is Drake's short film he made.
No, I thought this was a great response. I thought this was great work from Drake, and showed that he's a very skilled MC, which I've long felt he was. I wish he didn't invoke Kendrick's family and mention all that, because I think that just brought on all of that big barrage that Kendrick came with after this. But a great battle record that would have won, I think, other beefs that he could have been involved in. It would have won, but just not this one. But good showing.
I was very scared as a noted bias towards Kendrick. I was very scared when I heard this, because I was like, oh boy, well we have revelations coming out about about one of his kids not being his, one of his kids being his best friend Dave Freeze, about him being a domestic abuser. I thought the line about Kendrick's uncle from his song The Auntie Diaries, I thought was like brutal. I was like, that's too personal to bring that memory. I remember that album too.
Langston, I think you're exactly right. Like if Drake had taken the threat of I have receipts seriously and had just dropped this, but with like, 10% less like, oh, what receipts do you have? I know all this shit about you. Like if he had just come at it and was like, you have receipts, I have receipts, like I'm just gonna trounce you with my skill or whatever, like that would have been different. But he did push it too far, and the receipts were real. I guess I think Drake didn't think the receipts were real, or that Drake considers himself so like close to like hip hop godliness or whatever that he didn't think he could be hurt by anybody. Like I really wonder if that was part of it too. But
yeah, I think I think that's a great point, and I do think Drake feels, and obviously don't know him, but
yeah,
he moves in a way that suggests he thinks he's impenetrable,
the sixth god,
which I think,
the sixth god,
is
right? Yeah,
Kendrick's like, I think maybe that's the point when Kendrick was like, he's doing the God thing again. It's time to tell him why I'm actually mad at him. Like if he's gonna try or whatever, like if he's gonna try, I don't know, maybe that's it's wild because it really does escalate once again.
And another big thing I want to point out, because we're having this on Twitch, is that this song comes out 30 minutes into DJ Academic's stream, which I think is
that's
on purpose. It was made to come out so DJ Academics could live react, because he is essentially Drake's guy, Drake's proxy on social media. Yeah,
that's true. But also, I mean, in general, like streaming this music reflects it. It reflects, like, I think the strategy of the battles, but also like how it's different. Like the fact that so much of
it's the algorithm. It's the algorithm battle.
This is why we like Twitch so much, because it's actually doing the community thing that some people get, but a lot of people don't seem to get. But clearly, like the hip hop rap DJ scene broadly, like electronic music ever broadly on Twitch, like really understands that the people are watching. Like, they can go to shows, but they're also watching all of this stuff like synchronously together. And so being in line with that, like, I don't know, the sort of Twitch's temporality, movement, the schedule, like you're tapping into the community that's already there, ready and active, listening to.
Like I put on Twitch immediately after I listened to each song to watch the look on people's faces when they heard it. You know what I mean?
Right. And when they know that, like, video essay culture, Twitch live streaming commentary
React
culture is such a huge thing that it would make sense to align your album drops with the timelines of the big names in the streaming arenas, basically. Like, even people on YouTube are like, I gotta write a video. Even they're trying to make like a 10-minute video of like the bigger one's coming. Hey, I know what's going. Like even people are precursor, and maybe that has to do with just like the pace of social media in general now. It's like the pace is quickened so much for some of this beef that social media actually can't even keep up with how fast it moves. Because
did you see the clip of
the network is?
Did you see the clip of Kai Cenat like in his childhood bed? Being like, I do not have time to. We're getting ahead of ourselves. I do not have time to listen to Not Like Us. I seriously am home for the weekend. Yeah,
for real.
What's the one father-son React channel, Bridging the Gap?
Yes.
Where the dad was just like, I haven't left your house yet. I just live here now.
I haven't left. I just live here now. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah. Can you read what chat said, Daisy?
Yeah, I was going to say, Daryl is making some other great points. Thank you for your commentary on this. But key thing, Daryl says, a key thing about 616 in LA is the revelation started by Kendrick on the song. Oh, yeah, we kind of mentioned that, didn't we? But they don't respond to have real receipts. But then the next thing is, I think on Family Matters, this is the best Drake I've heard in like 5 years from a sort of technical and engagement standpoint. It really was supposed to be an end to the battle, but would have ended many, as Langston said.
Yeah.
So he's quoting you a little bit.
The best part about watching people live react to Family Matters was that about a half hour in, Twitch chat just started saying Kendrick dropped, and all the streamers going, "What are you talking about?"
Yes, and they're like, "What was that?" Yeah, Meet the
Grams. Langston, take it away.
I don't know what to say. I remember when I heard this. I mean, I was doing something else and I got home and I
Yeah.
was on a text chat with some friends and they were like,
Yeah.
they just posted the
Yeah.
track and I'm like, okay, I don't have time to listen to this, but I will.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was just, I was stunned. I was stunned. I've never heard something like that, at least at that moment.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I don't understand. I can't even conceptualize how Kendrick wrote that and when he wrote it and how he got it out so quickly. That's such a complicated song lyrically and
Hmm.
performance wise and keeping the themes,
Yeah.
steady across the whole song. And
Yeah.
I mean, I like that was amazing, chilling, horrifying in ways.
Hmm.
And again, both a low point and high point
Yeah.
in terms of beef history and low point, considering the things he talked about, right, in reference to
Yeah.
Drake. A high point in terms of just skill and talent and imagination and all of that. This song to me is up there with the greatest of beef records. And man, I thought this was the end.
Yeah.
'Cause what's the point of doing anything after this? This is
Yeah,
it.
you're
But
like,
nope.
we couldn't possibly have anything more to say after you just fucking turned Drake into a grease spot.
It's
Like,
especially like with what chat was saying
yeah, yeah.
about 616 LA, that like in
Yeah.
hindsight it looks like Kendrick is like, I know you are waiting till DJ Academics is streaming to release your song, and I have one for the morning of, and I have one
Yep.
for 20 minutes later.
Yeah.
Of like I figured you out.
That's the other thing. That's the other like such sinister part of it is like choosing the timing is like to be so strategic to make a very powerful argument and to basically like co-opt all of the viewership that was like basically say, hey, the spotlight is right there on you. I already know the spotlight's going to be there and I'm going to redirect it entirely because you've already set up the stage for me. Like it's something like I'm just going to take the audience, because of course in mid, just like Dom was saying on Twitch, like everybody in the middle of the listen was like, everybody stop, Kendrick dropped. They stopped streaming the album that just came out to listen to this other guy's album. It's like kind of the ultimate fuck you. Yeah.
I think well, verse 1, Dear Adonis. I've seen, I guess the joke last weekend was Kendrick is Piccolo and Goku is dead now. He's just gonna take Gohan and be like, I can train you to fight better. Follow me.
Yeah.
Then verse 2 being addressed to his parents, which is personal, which is
kind of whack.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Verse 3 to dear your unnamed daughter, who there've certainly been rumors about for several years. I know a lot of those like screenshots have come up of people like 10 years ago being like, did Drake say he had a daughter on the radio or something? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that was the big like jaw dropping moment for me. That I was like, I can't believe he did it twice. If I had a nickel for every time Drake hit a child from the internet, I'd have 10 cents. But it's weird that it happened more than once.
Yeah, literally.
And then the last verse just being, Dear Aubrey, you should die. Love, Kenny.
Yeah, literally.
Pretty much, right?
You just called him the classic tradition of Kendrick and Pusha T calling Drake, and I quote, a deadbeat motherfucker. I think they both said that phrase.
Yeah.
This is terrifying. The Alchemist, who's one of my favorite producers, the Alchemist beat on like the piano was creepy. This is like serial killer shit. This is like the movie Scream or something, It's like he's actually outside your door.
Yeah, it's like I'm just taking it all in, and it's just so as Chat said, diabolical.
Yeah.
I guess it's like, wow, how all of the things, as so many things had to line up so perfectly for this to happen and have as much impact as it did, and I'm just kind of sitting in awe of like the artistry the intel, the pace, the craftsmanship of it all, and it's
Especially
like
because like the last time
my
Kendrick,
brain is like blown. Like
the last time
truly.
Kendrick put out an album was like a very personal, tell-all like autobiography that ends in him being like, "I'm freeing my family from generational trauma," and then he's like, "Oh, I finally found peace. What am I gonna do? Ruin Drake's life."
Yeah, well, and I also feel like Drake, in his presumption or whatever that Kendrick doesn't have receipts or just thought it was an empty threat from like the last song, like it further just validates Kendrick's argument about him not really getting it.
Yeah.
You know, like he does get it, but what the world that he gets is not the world of rap, hip hop, the streets. It's the world of capitalism and entertainment, and he gets that. Credit where credit's due, but Kendrick is pointing out the bigger picture here. Yeah,
Actor Aubrey Graham, who played Jimmy on Degrassi, might be out of his league here.
Yeah, exactly. And but the whole time has been thinking that this is his league. That's the other thing. Like nobody ever shook him and said like, "Hey man, you aren't actually from the street."
Daisy, you kind of summed up what we're getting into on the next slide.
Right, with the next one.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead. Yeah, so let's
Which
go. Okay,
on May 4th, Not Like Us comes out, and the amount of sheer horror when I opened YouTube to put on like whatever I was gonna watch. I think I was cleaning my kitchen, and I was just gonna put on a YouTube video, and I just see at the top of my feed Kendrick new from Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us, and I see Drake's mansion on the fucking neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
That before I even put it on, like just my jaw dropped.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. Just visually. That's the other thing, like not even musically. I mean, I feel like all of them too. Every album cover is a piece of art in some way, and it has a lot that goes into creating them. But the pace at which this came up, it makes you just feel like he was sitting on this image and was like, "Wouldn't this be a funny meme to just release to the world?" And then was like, "You know, it'd be even funnier if I was evil."
And as I want to put, and Langston, I think you can probably speak more about not just if I was evil in the most fun way possible on this song.
Which is Gemini as shit. Okay,
that is true. Hey, if I may quote the man, Kanye changed his life, but me, I'm still an old school Gemini. He said that.
He fucking is. He fucking is. He fucking classic.
So
Daroth has a great point.
Well, let's let Langston talk about Not Like Us first. What can you say about the song, and especially like its musical influences, which I think are very deep.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I think Meet the Grams was, kind of my most kind of jaw-dropping moment, but Not Like Us is my favorite song from the whole entire
club banger. Also,
I mean,
that's the worst part. That's the most evil part of it.
I agree. I agree. I think
like,
the best,
let's listen everywhere.
and most classic beef records are the ones that have a life outside of the beef. And I think this is one of those. I mean, I think it's a DJ Mustard beat.
DJ Mustard.
And he's really in his West Coast zone there. And I'm a big West Coast rap fan. I mean, this kind of West Coast is what got me into hip hop, period. And so I felt like Kendrick was kind of putting on for his city, his side of the country, that whole hip hop tradition out there. I think the West Coast does beefs better than any other coast in the country, and Not Like Us. I mean, Kendrick is rooted right in tradition, in community, right?
Yeah,
in somewhere real, and he showed that here, and he showed throughout this whole beef that Drake is rooted in nothing, right? I mean, he jumps around, he appropriates.
That's a good point.
Right. I mean, who is he? We don't know, but what we do know is that he's not like us, right? Who's grounded, who's rooted, who has integrity, authenticity, and we can debate that. This was kind of a great summation of everything that people don't like about Drake, and he did it over a really dope and fun mustard beat, and this was just a great smart record.
Yeah, what can you
Yeah.
say about the history lesson verse, the Atlanta history verse, which I think is the most damning section of the
that
whole
was-
beef to me?
I agree. That was pretty wild. Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I heard that. I'm like, this is some of the smartest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
On a hip-hop
Yeah.
record. Like,
Literally.
I don't even. I
This
taught
guy
a whole
knows.
course.
Yeah.
Right. On race based in hip hop or black music, and I'm like, I wish this would have dropped when I was teaching it, because
Yeah.
the way he talked about the structure, the infrastructure of Atlanta, and Drake, and all, like, in a song, and made it rhyme and made it entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're
What
like,
the
damn,
hell?
this man took a
Never
whole
heard that.
fucking course and put it into one fucking verse of one song. Like,
Like,
holy
where'd that
shit.
come
Yeah.
from?
Yeah.
So,
I don't.
so
Part of me,
cool.
you know, I think that I do think Kendrick had some of these verses and lines, you know, in the
Yeah.
chamber for a long time. You know,
Yeah.
just ready to pull them out and use them when it was appropriate, and that's fine. Because and I'm glad he did that, because we got records like this, and that was incredible.
I will say that Daisy, for most of the beef, wasn't really, like, you weren't really listening to it. You were getting it secondhand, and the whole time Daisy was saying, as a joke, "Well, let me know when Kendrick calls him a PDF file." I will say, and
yeah.
and then we were like, Daisy, it actually happened. It actually happened.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being like, because that's I don't know.
It's what the internet's been talking about for years. The internet's been talking about it for years.
There's been too much weird stuff. If he's been canceled, like, if culturally by the, I don't know, the US or whatever, it usually has something to do with that. Or at least that's part of the big conversation. And I was like, okay, is he going to talk about the real shit? Oh, yeah, he is. Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Like, here it is.
It was the last. It kind of reminded me of honestly, I kept thinking about season 5 of The Wire, when they're in court and they keep saying, like, you have the headshot. Are you taking the headshot? And I kept saying that in my head. I'm like, you have the headshot. Are you taking the headshot? And
You
he
taking it? Yeah.
finally took the headshot.
He did. Yeah. He really did. Yeah.
You got some chat comments for Not Like Us, Daisy?
Or
Or Meet the Grams too. People are talking about Meet the Grams too in chat.
Daryl had a great point about Meet the Grams too. So Meet the Grams is also interesting because it recasts a couple of Euphoria lines, which happens again with Not Like Us, but it recasts them in a new light. Like the Pusha T lines when Euphoria was. Yeah, when Euphoria was released, it just reads as like, remember that rap beef where Push wrecked parts of your actual life, but now it reads as a setup for Euphoria.
Or for Meet the Grams.
But for Meet the Grams, the clarification for Meet the Grams. Yeah.
I also think another thing Kendrick's so good at
Yeah.
is like Kendrick. You know, people say like Kendrick has like funny, weird voices, and a lot of people that turns them off to Kendrick.
So, yeah.
But Kendrick's like so good at like making earworms. Like I can think of like there are certain like across his entire career, whether it's like, you know, bitch don't kill my vibe, or like be humble. He does these like weird things with his voice that just like burrow into your brain. You know what I mean? And I think on he did that a couple times, but I think the one that is forever like a worm, like a worm that is the size of a worm from Dune crawling through my brain right now. It's just A minor.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to live with me for the rest of time. I can't even see an A, a C, and an E on a piano without hearing Kendrick in my head.
A minor.
A minor.
And it goes on for like the perfect
because Drake
not too
held
short, but it's long enough that it really
because Drake held Dave Free on Family Matters. He held and Kendrick did the same thing a day later.
No, that's the other thing. Like I wonder if like musically he like put them right next to each other and went like, how many kind of motifs can I poke at? I don't even know. Like, how would you even construct that? As an artist, I'm thinking like, if you want to make a riff on a poem or whatever, you just putting the two sheets next to each other, yours that you're adapting to, like, I don't even know how the complexity beyond just the like new information that Kendrick was bringing into the song, plus like at the same time riffing on the tropes that came out from a song like days before this one. Like that, it just is so amazing and beautiful, and it was definitely a moment from the universe like that Kendrick grabbed onto and went, it's time to show the world like what this is really about to him, you know, to Kendrick, you know, as a musician and as an artist.
So in chat, can I read this, Daisy? Because it actually reminds me of something. So in chat is saying, an interesting note for Not Like Us is how it reflects the meta aspect of the whole beef and how Kendrick anticipated how the audience would react.
Yeah.
Specifically, he 20 minutes later, he devastated him with Meet the Grams.
Yeah.
But Drake fans were going to go, oh, this isn't club ready. And then Kendrick has a club ready song hours later.
A club song. Yeah.
Yeah. As if when Kendrick had his war council, when like Kendrick and Metro and whoever like sat down in a room with one like dangling light bulb to plan this out. It's like they anticipated that like, okay, what is like, how did Drake win against Meek Mill? His songs were catchier, you know? And Kendrick's like, I need to write the catchiest song of my life. It reminds me of in the movie Patton when he like lures him into a trap and he goes, God damn it, I read your book. Why are you doing this? You know what I mean?
Kendrick is like big Gendo Ikari energy.
Kendrick is Gendo Ikari.
Kendrick is Gendo Ikari, and Drake is Shinji and doesn't understand like how he's a puppet in the system. Like he doesn't understand his role as a puppet. And,
all right, this is our government mandated Evangelion reference for the stream.
Yeah, literally.
But like you said, Langston, I think this is the best song of the whole affair. I think this is so much fun. And never thought I'd be seeing like Instagram videos of pool parties with the subject matter of the song.
Oh, right. The
very serious claims and the history lesson in the third verse.
And you know, like at the club, people are like A minor.
That's gonna be with Drake for the rest of his fucking life.
That's for his whole life.
Going away.
Yeah.
That's never gonna go away. And that's the part that people are gonna
forget.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And then the next chapter is kind of weird. In my opinion, but the hard part's sixth.
That's weird.
I remember when it came out, I was like, oh no, like he Tyrion Lannistered him or whatever. He fell for his trap. And then the longer I listened to it, I was like, I think this is kind of weird. Langston, what do you have to say?
I kind of paired your thoughts here. It was I didn't know how to take this one. I didn't think it was I don't know how you follow up or respond to everything that Kendrick did. I really don't. He was going to lose either way, you know? But I don't know. This was a weird record. He didn't make himself look good. And I think it sounded like someone who understood that they were losing and tried to figure out ways out of it, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is what this was. This was a semi-white flag without directly waving the white flag. That's what it sounded like to me.
As chat just said, the hard part 6 summarized. No.
Yeah, no.
It's crazy to see someone play defense in a beef.
Yeah, and I think like, I mean, if Drake really took in Kendrick's message, like say he really took in the big picture of it all, there's nothing Drake can say because his entire sense of being is in opposition to the values that Kendrick represented in that song. So like there is no comeback or recovery to it because Drake just is that guy. Like you have to just
you have to lean into it.
He either has to like
did.
He can't be like good. He's gonna be like, I am that guy. Look how like he should at least say like, look how successful I am doing this thing. Like I get that you don't like it.
He did
but
say that in the worst way possible. He was like, I am way too famous to be sleeping with kids.
Actually, that's true.
And it just came off as weird.
I'm just
She
thinking.
ignored that part. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That
no,
part,
was-
God
was
damn
good,
it! You know, it really was like, I've been seeing this meme go around forever too. But there's
Yes,
always
no.
funny Frank Reynolds being
Yeah.
like, "Okay, we gotta sing it. We gotta make a song. Do not do stuff. To
Do not
kids.
diddle kids.
Do not-
Yeah.
do not diddle
It's
kids."
crazy how, how Kendrick was like,
It's like the same fucking
but
image.
it's crazy how like chat was saying that Kendrick was like, okay, I'm specifically going to make like a song you can dance to because I know what they're
Yeah.
going to say about me.
Yeah.
And Drake should have known that they were going to be posting the Danny DeVito meme, but he did the Danny DeVito meme. He literally
Yeah, he
walked
did-
into
he
his office and
literally
said,
did the
"We have
meme.
to make a song about how we do not diddle kids right now."
That's the thing, and he made a song that's like, "I'm too famous to diddle kids. I'm too
So-
famous to interact with babies."
Darioth
Why
points
say
this out.
that, man?
Darioth points this out in the chat. It's been
Yeah.
discussed on social media. I remember
Yeah.
I was watching Fantano when the song came out, and he said this. But Drake responded
Yeah.
to allegations
yeah.
that, strictly speaking, were not made. Kendrick compared him to Harvey Weinstein, and Drake is like, "I knew you would compare me to Jeffrey Epstein," and everyone's like, "What?" And then he goes, yeah, and then he like says Millie Bobby Brown's name, and everyone goes like, "He definitely. Why did you?" Drake's the one who brought her into this, which I think is where he officially
Yeah.
loses me. When he like, I don't know, in defending himself, 11 from Stranger
He
Things
makes it
catches a
worse.
stray, and he makes it so much worse. I
Yeah,
think the tweet of the whole beef for me was when someone said, "I feel like you shouldn't have to put out a song that says I do not want to sleep with 11 from Stranger Things if you don't want to sleep with 11 from Stranger Things."
It's the meme. Do not diddle kids. I would never do this thing. It's like, why are you saying it?
Frank, you know what the fastest way to make people think you diddle kids is? Writing a song about it.
Writing a song about it, dude. Like, I don't know. Yeah, and
Yeah.
same shit with the, this is not the only one either that I think could have been referenced, but I suppose it was the largest one.
Yeah.
I think his weird texts with Billie Eilish are weird too. Anyway, there's a lot that's weird.
The
about Drake
17-year-old on stage. But that's what we're talking about. People have been saying this for
Yeah.
years. Kendrick's the
Yeah.
first one to make like a song about it.
Yeah.
And
Do not diddle kids. Just get kids.
yeah, and he also Harowich Jaded in chat. She says that he also proved he has no media literacy when he accused Kendrick of only caring so much because he admitted he was assaulted as a kid, which is not the point of the
which
song.
is like not even close to it's like not even close. Yeah.
Also, if we were I think we were talking about this before we started rolling, but if we were talking about how some of the episodes of Degrassi like talked about that so delicately. He learned
Oh my
nothing
God,
from
he learned
Emma and
literally
Manny's
nothing.
arcs. Come on.
Yeah, he learned nothing. It's so true. Oh my god.
All right. So you think, as Langston said, this was the white flag, and you think this would be the end of it. But no, Metro. Actually, this might be my favorite. Metro graced us with my favorite part of the whole beef, which is BBL Trizzy. Langston, have you ever heard a diss beat before?
No. That was a new one for me. Man, that happened on my birthday.
Yeah.
Happy belated.
Yeah. Also,
thank you.
Also the drama's happening all around this.
Right.
These other.
Right.
yeah.
No, I didn't see this one coming, and this was a great way to show how many people in this world can't stand Drake, and that was just that came out of nowhere, and that was very fun and very smart. I don't know if I want to see more diss beats. I mean, I feel like this is something that should happen like once,
Yeah.
But man, it was good to see Metro coming back in and kind of tagging in and getting his part off too. So that was
He did what he was told. He shut his ass up, and he made some drums.
They did.
I think it's very interesting comparing this to Tailor Made, because everyone talked about how like it's so bad that Drake used AI. I guess they meant to say used AI like bad. And Metro Boomin found like what appears to be like a Rick Ross stan account that made an AI, made like 10 different versions of BBL Drizzy. 10 different AI versions, made like a kind of grunge version, made like several different like styles of, like, there was like a Motown one, right? But then Metro found like the kind of 70s soul, like it was like a Curtis Mayfield thing, sped that up.
Yeah.
And I guess that is to say, my kind of like overarching theory of of like AI and music. When you're doing something impossible and tongue in cheek, no one has a problem. Like all of the SpongeBob rap songs, like the SpongeBob drill account, no one has a problem with that. Everyone loves that. When Metro Boomin does BBL Drizzy, no one has a problem with that. But when Drake was trying to like use it like to be like make serious art with it, everyone had a problem with that.
Everybody, yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
In addition to the other, layers of grief and just inappropriateness of using this particular individual in an AI art piece.
Yeah, his
in
hero,
addition to
his
all
hero,
these
yeah.
other, yeah. Yeah, damn.
The TikTok of like the 8th grade teacher saying she left school on Friday at a Drake junior high and came back on Monday, and all of her students were playing BBL Drizzy in the hallway.
Yeah,
really sums up what happened here. Wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. If the 8th graders turned on you, something you've taken a serious loss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've taken a big loss. Yeah. 8th graders will stand a lot. Okay, you've taken a big loss if they've abandoned you. Damn.
All right, Langston, do you got a few more minutes to tie a bow on this?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Because you are the 2023 tier list of the year champion. We didn't even make this. We found this. People are doing this.
We found this. People already have made this and are doing this.
We found the tier. We found the tier list for the beef.
Yeah.
So notably, they do not have BBL Drizzy, which I think is is an oversight. But if you were to quickly rank the songs in this beef on a scale from S to D, S being the highest, D being the lowest, where would you put this?
Oh, sure. Where are we starting? Like
no,
that?
start it like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Like that. It's B.
It's B. Okay, great.
Yeah.
7-minute drill.
That's D.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Push-ups.
Oh yeah. That's a B.
Is it a B above like that, or below like that?
No, below.
Okay. Champagne moments.
That's C.
That's fair. Tailor-made.
That's a C.
Tailor-made's a C?
Yeah, below champagne moments.
Hell yeah.
Euphoria.
That's an A.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Got it.
Damn.
616.
That's an A.
Is it A under Euphoria?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Family Matters.
Ooh. That's an A between Euphoria and 616.
Okay.
616.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Meet the Grams.
That's an S.
Yeah.
And Not Like Us.
That's an S before, like above.
Top
S. Is it an S plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make an S plus. I think
an S plus. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty unbelievable. Yes.
Ta-da.
There it is.
There it is. Defending champion, Langston Wilkins. Kendrick versus Drake tier list. Yeah. You know, we had to make him do this.
We had to.
on a scale from Not Like Us to 7-minute drill. What are we gonna do for this one, Daisy? How much time are you taking for yourself these days?
Me?
Yeah.
No,
Just like
in
it's just on a scale, like because J. Cole is like fucking.
Oh yeah, J. Cole, right?
Yeah, because Kendrick has
Kendrick.
Oh yeah, basically top of your tier list, no free time. Bottom of your tier list, I'm on the beach, I'm moisturized, I'm focused, I'm hydrated, I'm playing. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Basketball.
I'm playing basketball. I'm playing. I'm finally getting around to beating story mode of Tekken 8. He's doing his thing.
Daroth makes a good point. I'd bump TaylorMade down to D, maybe just utter distaste for the AI stuff, but otherwise exactly how I'd have it. So
I think chat is saying you went a little easy on TaylorMade, but I think other than that, they're agreeing with you.
Yeah.
It's a D musically, but I think in terms of its impact,
it's personal.
I think that's why I put it C.
Because then in Euphoria he talks about how he's doing this because he made Pac roll over in his grave.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, geez. Speaking of hydrating.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's
Thank
the
you,
other
Chad.
thing I think
Thank
about
you, Chad,
too.
for making me drink water.
Especially with Not Like Us. Like, I guess I've seen some people online, among all of the memes and all of the like criticism as this whole event is unfolding, say things akin to like, we shouldn't be paying attention to the Met Gala. We should not be paying attention to Kendrick Drake beef. We should be paying attention to what's happening in Palestine. And like, now I agree with that claim for the Met Gala, and I also like the proliferation of Hunger Games related memes because I do think that is a good comparison and that makes sense. But I actually, this is just something I've been thinking about, and like, tell me how it hits you guys. But I feel like the Kendrick Drake beef, at one point you could have said this is like a tradition of beef culture and blah blah blah. But after Euphoria, I kind of felt like the reason this has to happen, the reason this beef is happening and is happening now, and why it is tied up in this conversation about like I don't know, about Palestine, about all of these other kinds of liberation movements, is that Kendrick seems to very clearly understand how systems of oppression work and is mad at Drake not because of, I mean, yes, because of who Drake is, but also because of all of the things that Drake represents about the failing industry of the, I don't know, neo-capitalist hip-hop or whatever.
Okay,
so
you did indeed bring this home. Yes, proud of you, Daisy.
I swear that this is coming home because I feel like Drake, like, yes, they're not talking about Palestine. They're not talking about war, but they are talking about at least Kendrick specifically is talking about a move of recognizing how colonization has played all of these little intricate layers in the making of celebrity, of heroes, of talent, and is choosing to focus on Drake for that conversation because he's a great example of it, but also like making a point that is dividing, I think, the general population about where do you stand? Do you stand for people who are taking advantage of the systems that they've been given throughout their life, you know, like the systems of privilege and of power that have contributed to Drake's fame? Or do you stand the flip side, which is very clearly tied up in regionalized, community-centered conversations about what are, I don't know, where we stand as cultural beings. I don't know.
Drake is endemic of a bloated empire that is too big to fail.
And he doesn't get it. That's the thing.
And
I still don't think he gets it. He still doesn't get it. But all the people who seem to get really what Kendrick is talking about see that it's not this like dumb petty argument about bullshit, right? Like I get Drake wants to be this like mysterious talent guy who like is doing his little Scorpio thing where like he just wants everything to, anyway, I'm also feeding into that beef too, but of just like, oh, I mean things, I make real art, you know, like I understand like the ways that this culture, the system, and the music works to make high quality, like, you know, art that speaks to people. And like, yeah, you can do that and be a tool of the capitalist machine. Like, it doesn't mean you're like a bad artist. I think it means that he's just not getting what it took to put him on stage in the first place.
Daisy, I just want to...
Kendrick gets what puts him on stage in the first place. And it's tied up in the same ask for, I don't know, actual direct action towards decolonization. Anyway.
I have no take on that, Daisy, other than I just wish I could reply with the meme of Anthony Mackie from Falcon and the Winter Soldier going, they're completely out of line, but they're not wrong.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know if that's it. Langston, do you have anything to think? Do you think about that? I mean, maybe it's just something I've been annoyed at people lumping in like, don't pay attention to dumb celebrity conflicts, and I'm like, pay attention to them when they're actually saying something that is making a connection to your larger movement. I don't know.
Yeah, no, first of all, that's smart as hell. So yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
no, that's
There we go.
Wow.
Hey, Daisy's
just was
brain,
trying-
Daisy Dream Branding chat, people.
Sometimes
might
it
be
works.
above my pay grade, but
Yeah.
no, yeah, no, I think I think I agree, and I do
Yeah.
think this beef and Kendrick is
Yeah.
recentering,
Yeah.
ideas of honor and integrity, and having some sense of your own value system, having respect for community, tradition,
Yeah.
all these different things, right? And
And
trying to divest in this capitalist, industry
yeah.
centered, market centered, big corporation centered mode of art making that we've been
Yeah.
in for a long time. And he's always been a guy that I feel like had his hand on the pulse of uh social movements, and
Yeah. True.
and these values and ideas that we still need to put forth and center, and yeah, but even to the argument that we shouldn't be paying attention to these things, it's
Uh,
just, I mean, beef culture, conflict
Yeah.
culture is central to African American folk culture and folk
Yeah.
life. And I mean, during slavery, people were out there competing in the ring shout, and I mean, on down the line. And so this has always been, an outlet, not just an escape from reality, but kind of, as you articulated here, a way to engage, reality and very real issues without feeling so drained and dominated and completely
Yeah.
overwhelmed. And so, I mean, some of my hip hop heroes voiced that very critique, and I'm like, come on, like, how are you saying that?
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
And it's like, now that I'm even spending more time thinking about it too, like, I obviously know the least amount of this group that we've gathered here today of the actual text of the music, that has come out. But there is still, even for people like me on the outside, there's the moments that these things happen are not inconsequential, I guess. And that's what it's making me think about. Like,
Sure.
the beef had to happen now for a bunch of reasons, many of which I don't know, and many of which I'm trying to put together. But I mean, I also think, like, maybe the real disrespect and part of this, like, bigger picture thing did come out with the weird AI Tupac. Like, that's weird in a bunch of ways, including the fact that this is a real human being with an AI weird voice, like they're rapping together, but also it's emblematic of the use of AI tech that Kendrick is like, you please use tech for artistry. What you're doing is using it wrong. Like, you're not in on how the group gets how to use this stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe that's part of the capitalism of it too. Like, Drake leaning into, like, what is being marketed as, like, the new thing to engage with and be, and create with. And then for it to just totally flop is, like, I don't know, also maybe part of this bigger picture of what's happening. But
I guess my last word on this is the Venn diagram between Kendrick and Drake and Jay-Z and Nas. In the middle of the Venn diagram is, I sampled your voice, you were using it wrong.
I sampled your voice, you're using it. Yeah, literally.
Can't believe that came up twice.
Right.
Yeah, I can't believe it came up twice. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Hell yeah.
Langston, I'm gonna make you big on the screen again. Give me 1 second to feature you once more.
Yeah.
But all right. So this this is a little over an hour, about an hour and a half of talking. Actually, by the end of this, talking about a lot, as we proved, there was a lot in the air. There was a lot. There was a lot to talk about here. Not just the, this could be like a kind of tabloid. Oh, can you believe he said this? But there was actually a lot going on and a lot to learn from and a lot to study here. So I'd like to say thank you for lending your voice and your expertise to this episode the fans demanded.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just taking the time to be with us and to be with us live, like that. And there are plenty of people in the chat clearly who have been engaging in this, and it's been meaningful in a bunch of different ways. So for real. Thank you for making space. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once again, for people who want to learn
Yeah.
more, what's your book again? Where can people find you, etc.?
Oh yeah. The book is what is Welcome to Houston, Hip Hop Heritage in Hustletown. It's out through the University of Illinois Press. Go grab it. But you can find me on Instagram at Southside Supervillain, and I'm on X as Street Folk LCW, and I'm around Facebook too. And yeah, just holler at me. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. Hey. Only caught the end of this because of my dumbass job. Good to brush past you again, panel buddy. Take care, Langston. That's from Maddie Howard.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Excellent. Well, yeah. Do you have anything else to add to tie a bow on this?
I think we're just about done.
This is despite all the crazy things that came up in the beef, I think this was good for hip hop. This is good for culture.
Yeah.
And and again, as the final point or final kind of interaction just made plain, I think this gives us a lot to consider in terms of art and life and conflict and capitalism and just the way we engage each other as human beings. So this is more than just music. It's truly life. So yeah, I'll leave it there.
All right.
There was maybe a final good comment too, but we can... Also BBL Drizzy.
Final good comment. Yeah. Final good comment about Kendrick commenting on Drake's blackness and about how it's not distaste for him being biracial, but like we were saying, it's distaste for him being a colonizer. Good conversations people are having about this, chat says, but then he ends that comment with, and also BBL Drizzy. And I think that's a good enough note to go out on. Also BBL Drizzy.
Also BBL Drizzy, bye.
So see you Tuesday, chat, for when we stream with the Nevada Humanities and make Chili together.
Yeah, Chili time.
Yeah, and we will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Have emotional. Quotes have had meaning on many levels. Making quotes helped me to get a sense of my own space, sense of finding my way, sense of feeling.